maybe third greatest Texan of all time.
Oh, who's second?
I
would have maybe given him second.
I would say when you think of Houston Texans, J.J. Watt, Andre Johnson.
You know what? That's on me. I forgot about J.J. Watt. Yeah, no, you're a solid 3. Hard 3.
But like a great 3. I also love Notorious Thugs. I was thinking about that. Been in the shit since 92. Look at all the bullshit I've been through.
So-called beef with you know who.
You know who. Fucking female stars is who. And then the blue light that can move like Mike shit, not to be fucked with.
Motherfuckers better duck quick, cause me and my dogs love the buck shit.
The buck shit. Fuck the luck shit, strictly aim. No aspirations, quit the game.
Spit your game, talk your shit, grab your gat, call your click,
squeeze your clip, hit the right one. Pass that weed, I got to like one. All these hoes, I got to like one. All these friends.
All these niggas got to like one, got to fight one. What the fuck is it?
My situation is a tight one. What you gonna do? Fight or run? Seems to me that you'll take B, bone big, die slowly. I'm gonna tell you like
nigga told me, cancel everything around me. And then
shit, lyrically, can't see me. Fuck it, buy the coke, cook the coke, cut it. Know the bitch before you cut it. Loving it with the bitch, fucking it.
So then it seemed odd to you. Well, man, it's been a while since I heard that song, but yeah.
7 a.m. woke in the morning, and he got phenom green and nicotine.
That's impressive.
Those are rips going Mr. Clean. Not to get similarly Steve with my instrumentality and heat, especially for my team at 45 and D will be between the seasons. Troy or Junior will die. We'll see how many flee when it's called us. Who we mean mug, mo thug, trying to be perfect. Disciples will survive on tongue to double-edged sword, triple six rivals spitting fire. This is a real truth, bitch breaking out for lies.
Hey,
I love that song.
That's got to be the start of the show.
I was just saying we have to start like that.
That's impressive.
Welcome in.
Damn. You have to get my part from
sync it up. Hey, welcome back to Nanodosing. It is Monday. It's Martin Luther King Day, January 20th, and we're back. We got Arian, Big T, myself, Mad Dog McKenzie in the booth, and I'm a very happy boy. Do you know why, Big T?
Because the Commanders are in the NFC Championship game, but also
I thought you were gonna guess he's back. Guess who's back?
We're back.
Back again. Don Eastern back. Crypto man.
Yeah, I guess.
Back.
So I know nothing about crypto. I don't follow it at all. I know it's fake because it's only talked about in its relative value to real money. So until that stops happening, I will never acknowledge it as being a thing. So when I saw this Trump coin, I thought it was somebody who made a meme called Trump coin, and then people started buying it up. But it was actually it's a Trump thing. I found that out today.
We have the official Trump meme is also here. It's time to celebrate everything we stand for winning. Get my special Trump community. Get your Trump now. So I don't really know much about crypto either, about all the shit coins and stuff. But he's got a meme coin. I have been reading a lot of replies. So I feel like I'm a little bit educated on this. I've been reading replies from the crypto community. The crypto
that's a forever meme. I have been reading a lot of replies.
I feel
like I'm a little educated on this.
The crypto community is not happy. They don't seem like they're very happy with Mr. Trump because initially he courted the crypto community and he was saying, "Yeah, I'll be the most pro crypto president ever. I'm going to have a crypto czar," and all the crypto people were like, "Yep, we're going to the moon." And then he launched the meme coin. I think some of the crypto guys were like, "Oh, okay, all right, this can be kind of cool." Like he's giving back to the community. We've got, a new coin that he's putting out, so he's going to be personally invested in it. And then Melania launched her coin one day after Trump launched his Melania coin, and people did some research on Melania coin, and it's held by like 90%. 90% of the wealth of Melania coin is held by like the top.
One person. I saw that. Yeah.
So it's set up remarkably similar to the Haktua coin. And so all the crypto people were like, this is so fucked up that he's doing this. And they seemed like they turned on him a little bit. But I mean, at internet time, like they turn on for like 6 hours. That's like, they might forget about that tomorrow. But they seemed like they were not happy about the Melania coin because it made the Trump coin feel like it was worth less.
Interesting. Yeah, I just saw the other day that it was ripping and people were making $30 million selling Trump coin.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a little confused, but
listen, if you can make money, if you're just a regular Joe or Joelle, I guess that's what you call a regular Joe in female form. I say go for it. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, that's great.
Great. I hope you make a lot of money. But
it seems criminal. I don't know enough about it, but it just don't seem every coin, not every. The majority of them coins that be coming out, it's like a scam. All them shits be scams. And so it's like it just seems very wishy-washy that I'm gonna do a little digging into, but I don't know.
It's like some people make money, a lot of people lose money.
Could be perfectly legal, but it just don't feel right on its surface. Well,
that's the thing. It's like crypto's the Wild West, and we really don't regulate it. And so,
wasn't that the point of it? Is you can't, because it's like
it's supposed to be
it's decentralized.
Yeah, it's supposed to like transcend, national boundaries and shit like that. But you can regulate it. Like I think the government can seize Bitcoin wallets if they're linked to terrorism and things like that. But there's a lot out there that we don't know. Like, we don't know how it's going to be prosecuted. The people that are in Congress that are going to be writing laws to regulate it, they have no fucking idea what it is. They know less than us, which is like nothing. We don't know shit about it, and we're probably miles ahead of Congress.
Like, that can't seem good.
Nope, it can't. So, a lot to get to today. It is MLK Day. It is Inauguration Day, but it was a very, very trying time for a lot of America over this weekend, and I just want to know how we're doing. I want to check in with America on this. TikTok was gone for like 6 hours. Are you okay, America?
I had to spend one night on Reels.
Oh my God.
It was a tough night.
You slummed it?
Yeah, and the vibe was just off. It was not it's not what I wanted, but thankfully, as TikTok said, thanks to the efforts of President Trump, it's back. So we're all good now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the greatest generation had the Great Depression. They had World War II. We have surviving without TikTok for 6 hours.
It was 18.
Was it?
It was approaching 24.
It went down at around 10 p.m. our time.
On Friday?
On Saturday.
Oh, no, it was Saturday afternoon for me.
Yeah, mine was like 8 or 9.
Okay.
Mine was gone 3 or 4 o'clock.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let's call it 8.
Yeah.
8 p.m. Saturday night, and then came back around, let's call it noon on Sunday.
Yeah.
That was your personal Vietnam.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And so, okay, I'll give you anywhere between 10 and 16 hours, depending on what your phone did at that time. But then they brought it back. It's got, a 90-day stay of execution to get sold?
That's what I believe he's going to do, yeah.
And he wants to nationalize it?
I haven't heard about that.
His proposal was making it 50% owned by the federal government, right? Did I read that right?
I didn't see
I'm
This
not
is
sure.
the first I'm hearing of that.
Let me look
That'd be crazy.
Let me look it up. But yeah, so it's back, and I guess they're going to keep it around until they can figure out what to do with it. But I mean, if the Supreme Court votes 9-0 against it, I feel like that's tough to come back from.
The bothersome thing is like they're doing this all under the guise that they have like inside intel from the intelligence community. They need to release that shit. Like, they need to release that shit. Unless they have already. I haven't seen it. Did they do that?
They want to release what?
There's the reason why they're banning it is they have inside intel about why everybody's so against the ban. I mean, so for the ban. Unless they already did. Did they release that information?
I read something about it saying that they're the way that they access your contacts is pretty crazy. And I don't know if it's the same as other social media apps like Twitter or Facebook or any of that. But I read that if somebody that you know has TikTok and you are in their contacts and they allow access to contacts, they can get all of your information. Like, they can get your phone number, address, location, private information about you, even if you don't have TikTok, just if somebody does.
Oh, no.
So, okay, here's what Trump said. I would like the United States to have a 50% ownership position in a joint venture. I don't know. I don't know if that means.
I don't think that means the government.
Does that mean
I love that.
U.S. investors?
That's how I read that.
I love that. I hope it reads exactly how it reads. That would be so funny.
I can't fathom that's what he meant.
I can absolutely fathom that. That'd be hilarious.
What if we got 50% ownership as the federal government, and like some of the ad revenue that TikTok makes, that goes to paying down the national debt?
Sure.
Or buying Mars.
Yeah, we're going to Mars.
Yeah.
That would be so funny, though.
So hand up. I was busy this morning. I've got a sick dog at home. Unfortunately, Blake is a little bit under the weather, and also I was planning out my hype video for the Commanders game this weekend. So I was not online very much this morning. So I'm a little bit behind on what Trump has said during his inauguration speech. But I guess he took our idea from macrodosing, Arian, where last week we wanted to claim Mars as being property of Earth.
Yeah.
But Trump took it one step further and said we should claim Mars for the United States. Did he say we want to put an American flag on there?
We will pursue our manifest destiny into the stars by launching American astronauts to plant the stars and stripes on the planet Mars.
That is so funny.
It's kind of a bar, honestly.
Yeah. Why stop at Mars?
Bro,
I want Orion.
Universe. I want that. I want Sirius. I want it all. I want all the space in between too, because it is tangible.
I want Orion. Orion's the GOAT. Canada, you can have Cassiopeia. I guess China.
We claiming constellations now.
Yeah, you can do it one constellation at a time.
This is the first time seeing this clip, but when he said that, Elon lost his mind and was giddy as a schoolgirl.
So does that mean Elon doesn't get Mars though?
Well, as being, is he a citizen?
It means his companies get government funding to attempt.
Yeah, he'll get a nice contract.
Yeah,
which is hilarious. About this whole thing. This is a fucking. If you wrote this script, you couldn't get a funnier show. This is hilarious. This is all so funny.
You know a show I was thinking about today that I would love to watch? I would love Obama and Bush to spend a month in a house together. That'd be unbelievable. They're thick as thieves, those two.
Yeah, they are.
A reporter asked Bush today, she said, "Are you going to behave?" And Obama walked up behind him and goes, "Nope." I love watching them. They're hilarious.
They should do streams together.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, just reacting to the news that day. Just have somebody press play.
That could be. They should be the new Crossfire.
Can I get some W's in the chat?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's up?
What about some O's in the chat?
It's your boy, man. Welcome back. Today's stream brought to you by let's be clear, Dude Wipes.
Brought to you by Lockheed Martin.
What do you think about Michelle not showing up? And she wasn't at Carter's funeral either, right?
Really?
There's been some speculation.
What's the speculation?
I don't indulge in speculation.
The speculation is that they're divorced.
Oh, really?
He just posted for her birthday.
But
that made it look even more suspicious.
Because of the photo?
Yeah.
It's your birthday, Michelle. I gotta put something up.
Yeah, oh, look how much I love Michelle.
Did she say thank you, right? Did you retweet it? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Does he still follow her?
That'd be hilarious.
So the speculation is speculation is they broke up. It's not that she's
it's the speculation is that they're on the rocks.
Has anybody put out the theory that maybe they're making a clone? And so when she comes back, she's not going to look the same.
You heard it here first.
I just want to say for the record, whenever we see Michelle Obama next, that's a clone. I want to be the first one to say that.
She did quote.
Look at her ears.
She did quote tweet Obama's tweet and said, "Love you, honey."
Yeah, she just posted him on December 29th, too. Usually, scorned women don't do this kind of stuff.
I love that we're talking about Michelle and we're like, yeah, Obama quote tweeted Michelle Obama's picture.
No, Michelle quote tweeted.
Free and not Mr. Morale.
Michelle quote tweeted Obama's picture.
Yes.
Yes. Even though they're both Obamas.
Correct.
But Obama. We were talking
he's Obama.
Yeah, a couple years ago about an Obama simulator, like as a video game.
Could be fun.
I think that'd be fun. You want a cigarette, Barry.
Oh, yeah. You lose like XP if you smoke a cig?
Yeah, if you smoke a cig. But it gives you like a temporary boost.
Okay, yeah.
Today's episode is being brought to you by Game Time. Big T, let's pull up tickets to the NFC Championship game in Philadelphia. What teams are playing in that?
Well, I know the Eagles because they won.
Play. And then, they're playing the Washington Commanders, which is crazy. Pull up tickets for those, and let's see what kind of deals we can get with Game Time. If you love getting out to live events, whether it's concerts, football games, comedy shows, college basketball games, we always use Game Time. It's the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. We love Game Time, and now with their brand new Game Time Picks feature, it's easier than ever to get to a game. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff, and it only shows you incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. If you look at NFC Championship game tickets right now, how much are those running?
What do you think it should be?
I think Philadelphia is a good sports town. You'll probably get some people from D.C. trying to make the trip up there. I think they're going to be pretty expensive. I'm going to guess $789.
I can get you in on Game Time for $554.
Let's go. I wish I could go. They're practically giving that away. What a great experience that is. If you go to Game Time Picks, you can pull up your chosen event and smash that GT Picks setting at the top of the screen, or you can just browse the local Game Time Picks deals near you on Game Time app homepage. What are you waiting for? Get those tickets right now. Big T, also pull up the next University of Tennessee college basketball game. I want to see what that is because the NFC Championship, that's a pricey ticket. If you're lucky enough to be able to afford to go to that, God bless you. That's a great deal that you can get. But you can take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code MACRO, and you get $20 off your first purchase.
You're not going to believe this.
Who's their next game against?
It's a top 15 matchup with Mississippi State tonight as people are listening, Tuesday night. $5.
$5?
$5.
On Game Time?
I can get you into the Food City Center at Thompson Bowling Arena.
Is that negative $15 when you use promo code MACRO?
Yeah, I don't know exactly how that works, but it could be.
Yeah, it's crazy. So check that out. Download the Game Time app today. Use promo code MACRO when you sign up, and you get $20 off your first purchase on Game Time. What time is it? Game Time.
Who?
You got to figure out a mayor's bet with Brandon Walker.
No, because we always play poorly against Mississippi State.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, at home we should win, but...
Yeah. Well, good luck. I'll be rooting for you.
Yeah. Coming off a bad loss.
You want to just get the Commanders talk out of the way?
Yeah, congrats.
Thank you. It's a surreal feeling. Like I still don't think that it's real. I could never imagine the Commanders being in the NFC Championship. And in a weird way, I feel like it's house money where I feel pressure like it's going to be a crazy game. I'm going to be nervous as hell on Sunday. I'm going to be nervous as hell all week. But also, we have nothing to lose.
This season's already a win.
Massive win. We have nothing to lose this weekend.
Do you remember the last one?
Was
it 91?
So I remember winning. I remember watching the Super Bowl with my family. I remember the celebration afterwards, and then I remember my dad got a can of Coke from the store that had the Redskins logo on it, Super Bowl champions.
Love that.
And that can of Coke stayed in our laundry room right above our washing machine for, I think, 15 years. And it just gradually faded from red to like a light pink at the end of it. I need to find what happened to that can of Coke. Maybe it's in storage somewhere.
It was a can?
It was a can of Coke.
Interesting, because you see the glass bottles.
Yeah, it was a can of Coke, and it had the logo for the Super Bowl on it. I remember that. I remember the celebration afterwards, and I remember Mark Rippon in the second half of that game. But I don't think I remember anything else in that season. Maybe it's all like fuzzy because I was like 6 at the time. So, yeah, I don't really remember going to an NFC Championship game in my entire life, or really even thinking that was possible.
The only team that hasn't made it this century now is the Cowboys.
Yeah, so it's been, since 1996?
I think so, yeah.
And they're the only team in the NFC.
Correct.
The Houston Texans have not made the championship game, correct?
Yeah, I don't
think so. The AFC Championship?
I don't recall that they have.
Yeah.
But NFC, the only one to not make it in the 21st century is the Cowboys.
Pretty wild, right? And now Jaden Daniels has as many playoff wins as Dak Prescott.
Saw that as well.
Yeah.
Did you see he's the only, in the common draft era, which I think goes back to 67, he's the only top 4 pick quarterback to go to the championship game in his first year.
Yeah, rookies just don't do this, and there's something different about the guy where he just doesn't get too excited. He's always calm. He's always at his best when the moment's biggest. And we ended up beating the Lions by playing their game. Like we were more aggressive than Dan Campbell, and that's what we've done all year. It might come back to bite us in the ass at some point, but we're the best team in the NFL in fourth down. We've already got as many fourth down conversions as any team in the history of the playoffs, and that's through 2 games right now. So we're very, very good on fourth down. We're going to keep being aggressive on fourth down. It might bite us in the ass, but I don't care. Whatever Dan Quinn says, yeah, let's do it. It works. He seems to have a good feel for it. And now, in like a weird twist to everything, last year, I wanted Ben Johnson as the coach of the Commanders. He was like my number one. I wanted him and Vrabel. And I think Dan Quinn was like 5th on my list. He was way down there. I'm an idiot. I don't know ball. I
made a list of more than 5 people for your head coaching vacancy. That's hilarious.
Oh, no,
yeah,
that's...
You have to do that, yeah.
If UT was going through a coaching search, I'd have 10.
And so I wanted Ben Johnson. He turned us down. I was pissed off. Dan Quinn, we flew him out through Dulles Airport commercial. And apparently he did a great job in the interview, and he's been the perfect fit. And then Dan Quinn goes into Detroit, and he beats Ben Johnson in Detroit. So what a weird series that was. And now the Lions coaches are free to do interviews with any team that they want, free to get hired by any team that they want. And meanwhile, Cliff Kingsbury has to keep waiting because we just won this game. So there's a good chance that both the Lions coordinators are going to be hired to be head coaches this week. And then all the other dominoes will start to fall after Ben Johnson gets taken. But yeah, crazy twist. The Lions, I don't want to say I feel bad for them because that sounds patronizing, but I do like.
It's tough.
I mean, the Lions. I love Dan Campbell. I love Jared Goff. Their team is awesome. Their defense was just banged up through injuries. They've got great running back in Jahmyr Gibbs, great offensive line. They're a very fun team, and I like rooting for Detroit and any other city that's been kind of a loser fan base for a very long time. Like, I feel you. I was a loser. Like, I still feel like I am a loser, but I was in the thick of that shit for a long time. So I feel for that type of fan base, and to have all those expectations this year and to just get your teeth kicked in at home.
Fuck all that, man. You whoop their ass, bro. Dance on their grave. What the fuck is you talking about?
I don't want to. I will dance on Philadelphia's grave if we win this game, for sure. I don't want to dance on Detroit Lions.
Fuck that shit.
I have no
on the grave.
Aaron, I got no animosity against Detroit Lions fans.
Oh, soft. That's why.
That's not a historic rival. Although, if you want to go back to the last time we were in the championship game, the NFC championship game, we beat the Lions to go to that Super Bowl in 1991.
That's what makes sports fun. Dance on a grave.
Well, I'll just say this.
Like KD did. Kevin Durant did that shit. He dancing on a grave.
I won't dance on their grave, but I'll fuck their AstroTurf. How about that? That's what Jameson Williams did. Humped the AstroTurf, didn't get a flag for it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He had sex with the field.
That was on one of the sickest plays I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Shout out to, speaking of Ben Johnson. That play design was incredible.
Yeah, it was. It was a great play. And then he got to the end zone. He just like grinded against the ground for a long time.
Wow.
I think he stuck to 2 pumps, which I think in the Key and Peele skit, the 3rd pump is where you get in trouble.
Yeah, it was very graphic, but then he kind of disappeared after that. Had a big interception.
Yep.
But yeah, I love this team, man. I love everything about them. It feels like the best vibes ever. It feels like, again, it's house money. I don't want to say team of destiny because I don't know if you can say that. The Eagles are a really good team, and they've got a great roster. Our roster on paper, not as good as their roster, but the defense is playing well.
Yeah, it depends on how your secondary shows up. If secondary show up, it's a tough squad to beat. Y'all just don't have like a bunch of like you said, you don't have a lot to lose, so you can gamble, you can do things. You said you're playing with the house's money.
They didn't really have to throw it against the Rams, though.
Who?
The Eagles. They just handed it to Saquon every time.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree.
Yeah, Saquon is so fucking good. And that offensive line is great. Did you see the clip of Saquon and Jalen Hurts before his last touchdown run?
Yeah.
Where he was just like, watch this?
Yeah, I'm skeptical, but maybe that's what he said.
What do you think he said?
I don't know. I hear what people say, and I see that. It's just...
It wasn't watch this.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I watched the clip.
I just think it was.
Someone said which side. That looked a little closer. But I couldn't make it out, but it was not watch this.
It's just, I don't know, man. If you're calling your shot from 60-some yards out, I'd be skeptical about that. I've never, like I said, I think I was one of the first ones to be like, yo, Saquon Barkley is the most talented back in the league. On this podcast, matter of fact, I feel like I roasted for that shit. But he's one of the most talented running backs I've ever seen.
You never said watch this and then broke off an 80-yard touchdown run?
No,
I did
do this run. Though. I did do this, and Kobe Jones, rest in peace. We were playing Tampa at Tampa, and Kobe had an 80-yard touchdown, and he said this on, I think, you know how they do that NFL Top 100 shit. He said that in after the season when they interviewed, because I didn't tell anybody, but he did. After he came back from his 80-yard touchdown, he said, "Watch, I'm gonna get you." I told him. He came back to the sideline. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get one too. And I did. I didn't know. I just be confident like that. But instead, I had like a 78-yarder. And it wasn't 80, but almost got him.
Also, when it comes to lip reading, if you just tell me that somebody said something, I'm going to watch it and I'm going to believe that.
Do we believe lip readers like that,
read
though?
Lips. No, I can't read lips, but if somebody says, hey, I read their lips, this is what he said, then I'll watch it. I'll be like, oh, yeah, you're right. It's the power of suggestion, right?
What's that thing that famous one? Green Hornet or Green Jack? What is it?
Adrian Peterson.
No, that's the orange peanut. I remember. I'm just talking about bad lip reading. No, I'm talking about the like when you hear something and you read something, it says something entirely different. I forget what the two words that they use.
Is it? Oh, you're talking about the green needle brainstorm.
Yes, yes, brainstorm and green needle. Yeah. Like when you hear it and read it, you hear different things. The mind is. It's a powerful thing.
It is. But I'm susceptible to that big time. So I just assumed that's what he said.
Did they say yeah, that's what he said?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I just saw it, people talking about it on Twitter. I don't think they talked about it.
But Arian, to your point about the Commanders secondary, I've been very impressed in the last couple of weeks with the Commanders secondary.
Mm-hmm.
Super impressed. So obviously Marshawn Lattimore had a bad first half against Mike Evans. He is coming back from a hamstring thing. I guess Mike Evans is too, but he's been back for several weeks. That was his first game back for Lattimore. He played awesome on Saturday.
I'm gonna
shut him down, and he's hitting people too.
I'm gonna give you a window of how to watch football without the noise. All right.
Okay.
And this is why I don't really like talking football with regulars. It's because they don't understand. Like Marshawn Lattimore plays well against Tampa. He gets torched for 2 or 3 plays, and he has a bad game. Right? You can have a defensive lineman have a bad season and get 11 sacks until a fan's mind or somebody at casual's mind be like, oh, he had a great season. That's 10+ sack season. But you've given up the booty on a lot of your runs. You out of position, right? That happens a lot. And so you can't look at it in the vacuum of like social media and stuff like that. Like you have to look at the entirety of what transpires throughout the play. People give up. You tell coaches all the time, bro. Can't give that up. And coach, they get paid on the other side too. Them boys is bad on the other side too. You win some, you lose some, but you got to bounce back. And so when you're looking at and how to analyze defense, this is why like Mark Andrews getting unfairly scrutinized right now, but he did drop a huge, not to change, subjects, but he dropped some maybe the biggest pass of his life, and he fumbled in the middle of the thing. But like I understand what he was trying to do as a runner. I get what he's trying to do, but like he's one of the best tight ends in the league. That's how you become one of the best anything in the league is you take chances, you do things that normally people wouldn't do. And when you look at it in a vacuum, like, oh, he's the reason why we lost. No, he's not. He had a part for sure. But like, I would never like, yo, Mark Andrews is the reason why we lost. I don't think so. No, I think you had multiple issues across the game. And this is why, this is how I'm saying how I consume football, right? It wasn't just, and I'm jumping now, but it wasn't just like the refs is the reason why Houston lost. Did they play a small part? Yes, but there were so many things that happened that you could have controlled that could have changed the game. it's just hard for me to scrutinize. So like, to say all that to say, I think Marshall Lamar is a really solid corner. And like I said, when the rest of the secondary shows up, they have a shot, and they're the scariest team right now left in it, in my opinion.
Okay, so I agree with you. I'm sad that you can't talk ball with us because we're casuals. But
no, that's not what I said. I usually don't. Y'all the homies. We good.
No, I got you. In the first half, I think it's fair to say he had a bad first half against Tampa Bay. And then in the second half, he played really well, but people don't talk about that because they just talk about the big catches that Mike Evans had against him. But he had a good second half, and he played great against the Lions, and he played physical against the Lions, and he hits the fuck out of people.
But he always plays physical. That's always been his game.
Yeah, so he's coming on strong. Mikey Sanders might be my second favorite rookie behind Jaden, but Mikey Sanders is awesome. I love this dude. He's 5'9". He hits. He jumps. He's got
total coincidence.
No, total coincidence. He's got great ball skills. He played receiver at Michigan in addition to cornerback. He was one of Jim Harbaugh's favorite players.
That's key right there, by the way. If I'm ever building my secondary, I need you to have some kind of background being a receiver.
Yeah.
Because DBs cannot catch. It's an ongoing joke. Them motherfuckers have no hands, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, and you saw it on the interception where he was guarding Jamison Williams in the end zone. And he went across Jamison Williams. He undercut the route on the slant and attacked the ball. Like a lot of times receiver or cornerbacks, I think it might be sometimes subliminal. Like the ball's not getting thrown to you, so you don't attack the ball the same way as you would if you're a receiver where you know that ball is being thrown at you and it's meant for you. But he attacked the ball. He got 2 picks. Jeremy Chin was knocking the fuck out of people. Yeah, the secondary's been playing pretty good. And our linebackers, like we got a bunch of cast-offs. We got a bunch of one-year guys, people that we brought in, like veterans that understand Dan Quinn. And the defense went from worst by far in the NFL last year to about, I think, exactly middle of the road. I think we're the 16th ranked defense, which is pretty incredible. What an amazing turnaround. I don't feel like it's real, but it is. And I'm very happy that I get to root for this team. Very happy.
Kyle Shanahan didn't piss down his leg and fuck the Falcons over, Dan Quinn would be talked about as like one of the best NFL coaches of the last how many years?
Yeah, because the list of coaches who have won a Super Bowl is pretty short.
He won that Super Bowl, did this year.
Yeah, I mean the Falcons kind of quit on him. He lost that team shortly after the Super Bowl.
I mean, the year after they were still pretty good, and they lost on the road in the playoffs to the Eagles in a very close game. And then after that, they weren't very good. But, I mean, if he had a Super Bowl and then did this.
Yeah. I mean, great job. Great job by Dan Quinn. Great job by Josh Harris, the owner. Great job by Magic Johnson, also the owner. He's become like our mascot. That to me might be the craziest part of this Washington Commanders turnaround, is that we've just like completely changed our entire image and the entire way that we do business. We had the worst guy, and now we have like the most likable guy, Magic Johnson, waiting in the tunnel, giving hugs to everybody.
I saw a tweet that said he was by Jaden Daniels. Said, "Please do not be around his open wounds."
Yeah. Hey, listen. Magic beat AIDS.
HIV. He never had AIDS.
He beat HIV.
Yeah.
I mean, we've lost millions of people to that disease. Magic's just like, nope, I'm good. I'm Magic Johnson.
I've said this before. He did it before it was the normalcy. Like now, you can literally get a vaccine and it could protect you to a very high probability against HIV. Like I said, my uncle, he's had HIV since I was, I don't know, let's say 7, 8, and he's been rocking with it ever since. But he had to take like 30, 40 pills a day, that type shit.
Mm-hmm.
He was on what they call a cocktail. But yeah, I thought he was gonna die when I was young. I was like, oh, he about to dip. But he's still alive and kicking. He's an asshole, but he's still doing his thing.
Yeah, it's been amazing. That's one of like modern medicine's greatest accomplishments. It was a death sentence back in the 80s and probably
90s.
Most of the 90s too.
Yeah.
I was really afraid when I was a kid that because AIDS was all over TV, I was so afraid I was going to get AIDS. It was like an irrational fear that I had when I was like 8 years old.
It's definitely irrational as an 8-year-old for sure.
Yeah, because like I
As
didn't know.
As long as you're not sharing needles and having them protect the sex at 8, I think you're straight, dog.
Yeah, because all you hear on the news is like, oh, AIDS. There's more AIDS. Oh, more people died of AIDS today, and you're like, oh my God, am I going to get AIDS?
How much news did you watch as an 8-year-old, dog, to be scared?
It was
of
on
AIDS?
in the background.
Remember that better than the Redskins Super Bowl.
I do, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I thought that we had I had a better likelihood of catching AIDS than winning Super Bowl for a long time.
Did you see this tweet from March 13th? It's from some random, I don't know who it is, but Commanders having one of the worst off seasons I can recall from a new regime. Zach Ertz, Austin Eckler, and Bobby Wagner as marquee signings. Retread head coach Dan Quinn, who was far from first choice, and ass backwards Kingsbury at OC. Cherry on top will be if they pass on May for Daniels.
Oh my God. Can you send that to me?
Yeah.
I love that. I love all that shit. Give it to me. Yeah, Jaden is, I think he's the best quarterback in the NFC. I think he's top 5 in the NFL. And it's pretty incredible. I feel like sky's the limit. And if somehow I'm lucky enough to go to New Orleans. I said this on a live stream. Should I be held accountable to promises I make on a live stream?
It depends what it is.
I said that I would get a grill if the Commanders made it to the Super Bowl.
Well, those are...
You should have done that anyway. What's up?
You can take that out, right?
We can make a video of it. You can come down to Houston, and I can have Paul Wall do our grills. You trying to do it?
Yeah. Yeah. What's his name? Johnny?
Johnny Dang. Yeah, he gets it. But like, so when I was in the league, Paul Wall actually did my molding and everything. He came through the house and he showed love.
That's awesome. I might have to get a grill from Paul Wall on my way down to New Orleans.
How do those feel?
Huh?
How do those feel?
It's like a retainer kind of almost. It depends on what you get on them. Like I had one, the all gold ones you can talk normally with. I wore it on the podcast early in the early days. It was like 1 year in, 1.5 years in when we did this podcast. I had a grill in, maybe. I think I did. Then I have another one that I don't even know where it's at, to be honest. But I have like diamonds all on the joints. And that one's hard to talk with, and I don't really wear it because it's like really hard to talk with that one. You have to wear it all the time to get used to it. But I like the all gold fronts, the solid gold fronts. I did the diamond one a long time ago when I was a little younger.
It's not uncomfortable, like on your teeth?
The gold ones, no. The diamond studded ones, it's not that it's uncomfortable, it's that you can feel a presence in your mouth. It's like having a mouthpiece in a mouth guard. But the gold one, it'll probably take a little bit to get used to it, but once you do it, you can talk normally with it. That'd be a fun.
Think I'd be able to do a podcast with it? Like, would it take me a while to get used to it?
Yeah, I would just walk around with it like for with a week, take it out. So you take it out every day, brush your teeth, but walk around with it for like a week, and then you should be able to adapt with it pretty well.
Okay, I think I'm gonna have to do that then.
That'd be lit.
Have to get a grill. So yeah, me and Max showing down this week, trying to figure out what our bet is. Do you guys have any suggestions for me and Max for what we can bet on this game? Because
you want to go big or you don't want to go big?
Well, we're not going to do money. It's not going to be a money bet.
Not like that. I wouldn't even think about that.
I mean, pretty big. So far, what we've talked about
you got chopped them up.
Yeah, so the mullet is one thing that we're talking about. Loser has to cut their hair into a mullet. So cut the sides.
That's not really a
top.
punishment for you though, because you would think it's funny.
Or him, really.
No, it's a punishment for Max. And yeah, Big T, you're right. That's one of those things where it's like, I would probably kind of think that it rocked.
A disparate impact.
I'm thinking about doing that anyway.
I have had a mullet before in my life. So that's one of them. The full body and Brazilian wax is another one that we've tossed around.
Oh, that shit would hurt, guys.
Like no hair on the chest, stomach, crotch.
Are you hairy?
Ass. Yeah, I got some hair.
Yeah.
My hair, it grows in like an arrow. So I've got the trail going up from my belly to my chest, and then it forms into an arrow pointing up at my face at the top of my chest. So
ladies, I'm more than that.
Yeah, when you look at my tits, ladies, my eyes are up here. A little respect, please. That's another one that we talked about. I forget what else we had mentioned doing, but yeah, we got to work something out for this week. So if you guys have any suggestions, let me know.
How far do you stay from the offices?
I think I'm about 3 miles.
How far does he stay?
I think he might be 2 miles, mile and a half.
Loser got to walk to work for like a month.
Max?
I
He's
walk
not
to
bad.
work from right next to where Max lives. It's
Yeah.
every day.
Oh.
Yeah. That's not a bad punishment.
3
Wow.
miles is a long way to walk to work every day.
Yours
For
would be
you,
long,
it would be
PFT.
worse. Yeah.
His is not.
Yeah, 3 miles is a long way, especially in this weather.
Yeah. Max is like that's what people
mile.
do.
Well, you got
know
to
what
drive. You got to drive to your house and walk to work every day.
You know what the weather's going to be like here tomorrow, Arian?
In Fahrenheit or Celsius?
Oh, shut up.
Oh. No, yeah, do Celsius. Guess in Celsius. Let's see how good
in Chicago. So we're getting a cold front here, and it's supposed to be below freezing. And below freezing, for those that don't know, in Celsius is 0 degrees, as it should be. So that's supposed to be like 1 or 2 here. So I think in Chicago it should be around -5, -4.
The high tomorrow is going to be -17 degrees Celsius.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's going to be 1. We're going to have a high of a temperature.
Singular.
A degree.
God
We
damn.
have a degree tomorrow of warmth.
That's
And
okay.
yeah, the low of like -10. Wind chill's going to suck. I don't know what the chill factor is going to be. Somebody told me what the chill factor is. But it's going to probably feel like it's -20. So yeah, we're in the middle of the shit. I'm not going to walk to work in that, respectfully.
That would
It goes
be,
back
that
up
would be
to
the
25 on Wednesday, though.
That would be the point of the bet, though. Suffer, because everything else you do is gonna be funny. Y'all ain't gonna actually suffer from it.
Yeah.
You're rich.
I am rich. Thank you for reminding me. Sometimes I forget that.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas.
I've been saying that, yeah. Not all that.
You have.
Not all that.
You and Mint's been saying that.
Hey, I saw a quote card for you saying, with the NFL's end racism shit at the end of the end zones.
Yeah.
He said, "Well, I was really racist, so I saw that."
Well, it's choose love now.
I
they
saw
changed
that.
it.
Yeah. There was we were talking about how it's just the same 5 commercials. We've had that conversation on Macrodosing before. And I was just making sure that I showed respect. It's not that I'm doubting Roger Goodell and the NFL's corporate partners and everything he's done to improve society. And I just mentioned that I used to be really racist. And then they put that on the field, and I was like, wait, there's a better way. And so he opened my eyes. It was very funny because that was one of those posts. It went mega viral for part of my take, and people were like loving it for completely opposite reasons of the political spectrum. It was kind of crazy.
Horseshoe theory? Lay it on me. What was it
I don't know if it was, it might have been a horseshoe theory, but I think it speaks to the fact that the left and the right have some of the same critiques of who the real enemy in society can be, which is like rich, powerful people staying rich and powerful, and they do things like the corporate messaging, acting like the NFL is a big, like, you know, a leader in the civil rights movement. Roger Goodell is a hero for doing this symbology in the end zone, which really means nothing except to make them more money in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the same criticism can be had from the right and the left of what Roger Goodell is doing. So I had some people on the right that were like, hell yeah, based PFT. Some people on the left being like, fuck yeah, old PFT's back. So like it was really interesting to see. And then I had a lot of people being like, fucking, of course this guy who works at Barstool Sports used to be racist.
I saw those. Yeah, I saw those.
Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That has been an interesting. I think I've said this before, but I used to think Barstool was like super. It was like a bunch of racist white dudes. I used to think that too.
And then you meet us.
Now you found out you fit right in with all the libs over here.
There's still some questionable shit for sure, but it's nowhere near as many people as I thought.
I think if you spend time here and you meet the people that work here, you're just like, it's a bunch of weirdos, but I kind of love them.
Yeah, I don't got no problems with nobody really over there.
Yeah, I kind of love.
Obviously, I don't really agree with everybody's political stances, but that's to be normal.
Yeah, it's a normal thing, I think.
I think this place is probably more different than the consensus public perception than like any other media company.
Yeah.
Like it's almost the exact inverse of what people say it is.
Well, I thought nobody was fucking at Fox Sports.
Totally.
Everybody's getting laid.
Yeah, except for Whitlock.
Yeah, except for well, that's just because he knows what he's capable of.
Right.
That buttercream skin.
Peanut butter skin.
That buttercream. That could be so righteous and so nasty in the same sentence.
That rack.
Yeah, he said that peanut butter skin and a giant rack, I think he said. And then he was like, but I'm a man of God, which is why I would never.
God, she lucky I don't look at that peanut butter skin and them big jugs, or else, I could do something to a man, but not me.
Yeah. I just love
Is what someone else might say.
It's what someone else might say about the situation at hand.
My favorite was when he was like, I know what I'm personally capable of. So I stayed away. Also, Aaron, I should ask you, and you don't speak for all African Americans, but
I do actually. I just
Okay.
came from the convention.
Okay, so maybe you can pass this back to them, put this in the agenda for the next meeting. One of the other bets that Max and I have tossed around is loser has to have cornrows for a month.
I personally don't care. I think people do it all the time now. I don't think it would be a big deal.
Basically,
it.
just
I wouldn't advise it if I was you though, because it had nothing to do with that. It's because they tight, and you are looking to not put stress on your hair to keep everything that you have.
That's a good point.
If you keep it for a month, that means either you're gonna have to keep getting it retwisted, or you're gonna have to get them tight enough and put some on it at night. And that kind of stress on the hair does pull out hair, whether it's healthy or not. And I think you would probably want to keep all the follicles that you have.
That's a very good point. Okay, so maybe we'll step away from that one. Also, like I think that we would not be doing it for appropriation reasons or anything like that, but people would see it, and people that didn't know us would be like, look what they're doing, and then that's probably just a headache we don't want to have.
Do y'all have anything that doesn't involve hair?
Not yet, so that's why I'm all ears. I'm all ears to figure out.
That's what they have in common.
Yeah.
I say, yeah, walking to work for a month would be amazing. And whoever's the farthest away, you got to drive to their house and walk. And so if it's you, if it's your house, you just stay. You walk.
Yeah.
It has to be something you don't want to do, or else you're like, you low-key want cornrows. You low-key want a mullet. So none of this hurts you. You got to do something you don't want to. That's the point of a bet. You're like, whoever loses gets $100. Like, no shit.
There would definitely be times though when I'd be done with my workday and I'd be like, fuck, I have to spend an hour and a half walking home. And I would just stay at the office. I would just be like, I don't feel like
For
it.
you, that walking home would suck.
Yeah.
Point
Or
of a
hitchhike.
bet.
And you guys end late too, a lot of the days.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, that could get, you can't walk home in the dark.
Dicey.
Yeah, and also like dog stuff, picking up the dog from daycare, things like that. I don't think it's
not
possible for me, unfortunately.
It's also, I feel like that's not fair because it's not like an even split of like, yeah, like Max's walk home is significantly better.
That's
than
what.
What if Max-
That's the thing. You have Max drive to PFT's house every morning, and he has to walk home from PFT's house, and then has to walk back to PFT. Has to get his car.
Or he could walk home, back to the office, back home. That would be the same.
Yeah.
But then you'd have to have somebody regulate that to make sure he does it. This
Well, yeah.
ensures his car is at PFT. He got to go back. But if you don't want a happy joy lucky bet, happy joy fun bet, then yeah, get a mullet.
I mean, there's a lot on the line. Even without the bet.
It shows how much you believe in Jaden Daniels, though.
Yeah, I really do. I feel confident in the guy. You could make the argument that we weren't that great of a team this year. We had a lot of close wins, but I mean that just goes to show you like Jaden is good when things get to be their most, the most pressure-packed environments. That's when he's at his calmest. So, we just beat a really, really good team on the road, and we beat the fuck out of them. So, I'm feeling confident, but I feel like I'm not feeling overconfident. Like I deserve to feel confident after watching that. He's a good player. Sure. Where would you put him? NFL quarterback rankings, Arian.
I mean, he's absolutely in the top 5. I think he's absolutely in the top 5. You want me to do this now? I'd have to pull up all. Let's see, top. 10 QB right
I
now.
can give you the guys who some would say would be ahead of him. And then
All
you
right.
stop me.
I'll stop you. Go ahead.
Okay, Patrick Mahomes,
Yeah, he's
Ahead.
buffing.
Josh Allen,
Yeah, he's buffing.
Lamar Jackson,
Yeah, he's buffing.
Joe Burrow.
I don't know that I would give them that right now.
He had like the best season ever.
I would say for sure right now, but
he
let's
has
see the
he
next
has he has
year.
arguably the best wide receiver in the league. You put Jamar Chase on Washington. Do his numbers drop?
I don't know if they do. I don't know.
I don't think that they do either. I think he extends plays better. I think he's a little calmer in those situations. And now, granted, this is my only year watching him. I think he's a little bit more poised in the pocket.
Mm-hmm.
So I say I don't know. I'm not really giving it to JD, but I'm just saying it's not a absolute. But go ahead.
Okay. Some would say Aaron Rodgers.
I think he's the greatest quarterback of all time. So I would say Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than James Jones right now. Yeah.
Okay. Some would say C.J. Stroud.
Oh, that's a good one. I am dealing with a little bit of recency bias. Because, okay, this is why. I don't have a lot to judge Jaden Daniels off of. I have a lot more to judge C.J. Stroud off of, right? And so when I'm looking at C.J.'s rookie year versus his year this year, there's a lot more flaws, and this is why it's hard playing in the NFL. You get all that tape on somebody, your flaws get more and more exposed. And so I would probably say JD's better right now, but it's with an asterisk. I would like to see like next year. Right? It's not like a definitive. It's you'd have to show up next year for me. But go ahead.
Okay.
I would say JD over CJ right now.
Okay. Justin Herbert.
I'm just not that. God, he was really bad against the Texans. Like, not like.
He doesn't have any weapons. And you're right. He did not play a good game.
True, but it's like your decision making was horrible. It wasn't on some like. It was bad. I don't know that I can give him that either. I don't know that I can give him that.
Jared Goff.
I've never really been in love with him. I gotta give me JD.
Okay. Jordan Love.
I gotta go JD.
So I think you have him fifth, right?
I think sixth.
Six?
Maybe, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. He had Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Now, if you're asking, like, build a team for the future, you definitely wouldn't say Aaron Rodgers.
No. I think, are we talking about, like, right now or total body of work?
Just right now.
Oh, right now. Yeah, he's probably better than Aaron Rodgers right now. Even though, talent-wise, yeah, I would probably say JD over. I thought you meant body of work. So, yeah, I would say he's better than Aaron Rodgers.
Okay. Jalen Hurts.
I do think he's better than Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts, what I love about Jalen Hurts, though, is I think he makes a lot of really good decisions. Like, he is going to do the right thing. I don't think he's going to do anything, like, out of pocket, no pun intended, to, like, overly, like, oh, my God, I can't believe he did that. He may make a play here and there, but I think for the most part, he really knows how to manage a game well. I hate to use that term, but he really manages the game very well and matriculates his team down the field. But he benefits from a lot of good weapons too. A lot of good weapons.
And then Baker Mayfield.
No, I don't think he's.
Come on.
I don't think.
Dak.
I've
You're
never
just
been high on
talking
Dak.
now.
I can't with him.
Okay.
No disrespect. Like, listen, I think all of these guys, I should put it, because when I talk about NFL players, it comes off differently than just barbershop talk. You have the utmost respect for me for playing in this league, like, period. Like, I think if you play in this league, you're in the upper echelon of athletes in the world. Like, you're great at what you do. This is just in comparison with current status. I think they could all ball. Don't get me wrong.
All right. So who do you got in the Super Bowl?
Originally, during the regular season, I had Baltimore and Philly. I still got Philly winning. But I think I had Baltimore edging out KC, so I think KC gonna beat Buffalo.
And then the bad man wins again.
Was that Mac with the little?
Yeah. I'm taking notes.
Mac's on a heater right now.
She is.
AFC Championship game, National Championship college football game. Everything
Stressful.
Everything's coming up, Mac.
Oh, that's tonight, huh? Ooh.
Yeah.
Dating show.
Yeah.
Dating show up and up, Miss Mac. Okay.
2025 is my year.
Love Notre Dame and the Bills.
Love to see it, Kat.
We got to fix.
Huh?
Oh, I was just going to say, we got to fix the college football calendar because the championship game being the week of the conference championship games in the NFL is, I feel like nobody even remembers it's happening.
Yeah.
It's too long. It shouldn't be
got lost.
It's too long.
Get rid of the conference championship games in college, not the NFL, obviously, and start the season a week earlier, and we'd be back in where it should be.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah, it's dragged on. It feels like I haven't heard anybody talk about Ohio State, Notre Dame, except for like the college football people. Besides them, it's like not a part of the conversation.
Yeah.
So if you want to get in on some betting action, no better time than the NFL playoffs. We're talking about playoffs. You bet we are. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, official sports betting partner of the NFL. Scoring touchdowns is key to winning in the NFL playoffs, and the key to you scoring big is betting on them at DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. If you're ready to place your first bet, try betting on something simple like a player to score 6. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, make your pick. Here's another reason to watch your favorite players crush it in the playoffs. New customers bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Score big during the NFL playoffs with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code MACRO. That's code MACRO for new customers. Get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. So to wrap it up, Arian, you got Chiefs, Eagles, Super Bowl. Who do you have winning?
That's gonna be a fun game to watch if that's what happens. Sorry, Mac. I think the Eagles should win, but I never count out great quarterbacks and the luck that be on their side. Super lucky shit happens to like great quarterbacks for some reason. It's wild to me, but I think the Eagles would win just based on like who's the better squad, but you just never know, man. So I like I said, I would pick the Eagles from a purely schematic mano-a-mano standpoint. I think they're a better team, but you just never know, especially with Pat Mahomes.
Mm-hmm. And you got to watch the game, I assume, the Texans-Chiefs game?
I did watch that, yeah.
And you have Texans running in your blood. I'd say that you are the maybe third greatest Texan of all time.
Oh, who's second?
I
would have maybe given him second.
I would say when you think of Houston Texans, J.J. Watt, Andre Johnson.
You know what? That's on me. I forgot about J.J. Watt. Yeah, no, you're a solid 3.
But like
3.
But like a great 3.
A strong 3.
Does that feel disrespectful?
Nah, it like I said, when you watch football in the vacuum of stats and prestige. So as we retire, your prestige grows, right? The further you away from watching the athlete, your prestige grows, right? So like, am I a Hall of Fame player? No, right? I don't have the accolades nor the stats, right? But when you watch the film when I was going against Hall of Fame players, I got busy, right? Like I dominated games. There were games where I was clearly the best athlete on the field, right? It happens all the time. And so this is why I don't judge and I don't really put too much merit on Hall of Fame. I don't put too much merit in none of that stuff is because I played against Hall of Famers, got busy. But I'm nowhere near in a Hall of Fame conversation because I didn't do it for as long. And so those kind of things, that's all opinion based on barbershop talk, right? So your opinion about me has none of my business. That's just in life, period, right? And so it's an honor, in my opinion, to be mentioned amongst some of the peers that I mentioned amongst. And so that's how I look at it. So no, you never disrespect me calling me one of the greatest that have walked through an organization's doors. Nah, no disrespect.
So as one of the greatest Texans in history, how did you feel about that game? Did you see the picture of Patrick Mahomes kissing the ref, and there's
Hey, yo, I need to know what program people are using to make these videos, bro, because that shit was funny as fuck, but it looks so goddamn real, dog.
I know, it's
obviously
crazy.
You can tell it's fake, but what does anybody know what app that is? What app is that?
Some people use Grok. Some people use
Grok can't make
AI
videos.
tools. Oh, videos?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You're talking about the one where they actually go in.
Yeah, they actually kiss.
Yeah,
That's the one.
I don't know. That's some that's devil magic. I don't know what it is, but it freaks me out.
I need to know the program, dog, because I'm not saying I'm going to use it for nefarious purposes, which I absolutely will. I'm just saying I need to know what app this is. It will be so fun to do things like this, right? Especially in moments of, where everybody on Twitter. That's the fun part about Twitter. But anywho, I watched the game, and listen, I'm from the era of, like one of my favorite coaches I played for was Gary Kubiak. And he would always say, man, you can't control what the fuck the refs do, right? We lost. It is what we lost. And did they make some bad calls? Absolutely. Sure. Absolutely happens. Did we have control of what we control of to win that game? Yes, they did. They could have absolutely taken care of the business that they needed to take care of to seal the deal, and they didn't do that. The refs are a variable that you cannot control. And so you can't put no stake and no merit in what they do. You just can't do it. And so it's an L, you take it on the chin and you revamp and you go to next year. It is what it is. I've never liked blaming the refs for shit. Like, you let the fans do that shit. Let the fans talk their shit. Let the fans be like, the refs fucked us. You let the fans do that shit. As a player, we didn't take care of business. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I see it.
Yeah, let the fans do it. And the fans will do it.
Yeah, they'll do it.
There was a lot to talk about. But yeah, I think I've kind of reached the conclusion that honestly, I do not want Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs to win another Super Bowl.
I kind of do. I ain't gonna lie.
But I respect the hell out of them, and they're a great team. I don't want them to, but I think that they will because they're that good. But the only reason I don't want them to is because they've done it so much, and it's like, okay, I would like to see another fan base experience that joy. Don't steal everybody's joy. But if you're a Chiefs fan, you should be on the front lines being like, fuck you. They hate us because they ain't us. You are just jealous that you're not Patrick Mahomes, so you have to come up with all this shit. Yeah, do all that shit. I get it. This is the game. This is a game that we play. But that doesn't mean I have to like it if you win.
I will say this, though. And it didn't start with Mahomes. It started with Brady and Manning and Drew Brees. It started in that era where they made and they valued the quarterback in a way that made them play a different sport. So I've said for years on this podcast, right? Like, quarterbacks don't play football. They play an entirely different sport than us. They get to placate to the refs about a call. I've never seen flopping in football like this before, right? But it's because it can be beneficial to your team. Like, it's a very easy fix. This is a very easy fix. The one thing I do respect about Brady and Manning and them cats is they were in the transition stage for the league saying, okay, we have to protect these guys. And so early on, they was taking hits, right? So they have a pedigree of taking hits. I know they can take a hit. You know what I mean? Like, you look at some of them Brady clips and the Manning clip and them Drew Brees, they used to get after their ass, but that was football then, right? Now, you can't even touch these dudes. And it's disgusting. It's disgusting. But it came out of that Brady Manning era where you couldn't touch them, right? And so it's an easy fix for the NFL, but I don't see them walking it back. But it's just funny to me how and this is a football player rant coming on, but it's every fucking year I have to hear about how the running back position is devalued. And every fucking year I have to see in the playoffs, the thing that wins football games is running the football on defense. It never changes. It never changes. I have to look at, there are Super Bowl MVPs won by quarterbacks with 120 yards passing. I have to see this shit year after year after year. Don't be fooled. Running the football and playing defense will always win football games in cold weather, dog. It's what it will always boil down to, dog. But easy fix for the NFL. Penalize flopping, right? No fucking flopping. That should be reviewable. If you flop, you get penalized. And then make quarterbacks play football again. If you are a ball carrier, you don't get to slide. You don't get to declare yourself down. you are a target just like anybody else on that field. So it'll disincentivize all those little cheap shots that these quarterbacks are taking, and it'll disincentivize quarterbacks from thinking twice. They have to think twice about running.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I better throw this bitch away because I don't want to have to do what these dudes train for every offseason, which is run away from grown men that are taught and trained to hunt me down. But
yeah, the play where Mahomes slid and the Texans hit each other, and then they got flagged. That was absurd.
The flop he had on the sideline was sickening. That should have been a flag on him.
Yeah. I agree, dog. I agree. In NBA and NFL, start penalizing flops. Show me a fan that enjoys flopping. Show me somebody that likes flopping. Nobody likes it. Why are we okay with it? I don't get it.
Yeah, don't make football again. Keep your soccer out of my football.
Facts.
Speaking of soccer, Big T, I talked about this story last week on Part of My Take, but I need your feedback on it.
The Falcon?
Yeah, so
I don't know a ton about this.
All right.
I just know that it happened.
All right, the falconer for Lazio, he'd been suspended in the past for making fascist salutes.
Okay.
But
in Italy, that'll happen every so often.
They kept him on the team as the official team falconer. He lived on the training grounds of the team, and he got a dick implant. And then he posted a picture of him with his dick implant, and he was saying, "Thank you to this doctor. You did a great job. I have to ejaculate twice a day with as many women as possible."
Okay, so I didn't know that he shared it. I didn't know that happened.
And so then he got fired as official team falconer. They fired the doctor too because he also worked for the team. And then it was alleged that the falconer barricaded himself inside the team facility to protest his firing. Turns out that he wasn't barricading himself inside the team facility. He was just under strict orders not to stand up because then he would lose a lot of blood out of his penis. So he had a certificate from the doctor that said this man cannot stand up or else his dick will bleed uncontrollably.
I mean, that's his home.
You can't make him stand up. So, yeah, I didn't know. I know that you're a fan of European soccer, so I don't know if you had any takes.
Yeah, I have had a very base level understanding of that story, but insane. I didn't even know dick implants. I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh, it's a thing.
Is that a popular procedure?
I think it's getting more popular for older people. Like people that can't get a boner.
Interesting.
There are things that you can put in there and you pump it up. And then,
like the Reeboks.
Yeah, like Reebok. Yeah, dick pumps.
Does it increase length or girth, or does it just simulate blood flow?
I think it simulates blood flow. Like you can feel like it's a boner.
Is it still like? Do you still get the sensation of?
I'm not sure if that's what this guy had or if he had the one that was just like an enhancement.
They have enhancements where you can make it bigger?
Yeah. Brace was telling us about that, how there's a guy in New York that does it. Yeah. Not that he had it or anything.
Hey, man, I don't judge no man trying to feel like a man. You know what I mean?
I hear you. And guess what? If you want to feel like a man for Valentine's Day, I've got a great gift for you. It's from our friend Steven Singer from Steven Singer Jewelers. The I Hate Steven Singer guy. You've seen the billboards. You've heard him on the radio. But who hates him? Other jewelers hate him. Why? Well, because Steven has the #1 gift for Valentine's Day, and I'm excited to tell you about it. Make sure you're listening. Make sure you're watching because I've got it right here in my hand. It's a real long stem American Beauty rose. It's preserved to last a lifetime, lavishly and deeply dipped in pure 24 karat gold. This thing is great. It makes a perfect Valentine's Day present. Their 24 karat gold dipped roses start at just $59. And it's a Valentine's Day red rose that won't wilt, it won't die, and it's the perfect gift for your first rose. The gift is unique, it's sentimental, it lasts a lifetime, guaranteed. Add your own personalized love message in Steven's signature box and ship it for free. And if you're a collector, check out his brand new exclusive peacock teal rose. Go now to IHateStevenSinger.com. You can get a real rose dipped and trimmed in real gold from a real jeweler that you can trust. Steven Singer Jewelers. That's IHateStevenSinger.com. All right, what else we want to get to in news? And do we have voicemails? I'd like to rip a couple voicemails too. Is there any other news that we want to get into? Big T, I'm looking through your sheet here.
Biden pardoning his entire family?
He pardoned his, extended family, it looks like, and Dr. Fauci and Milley. Were you surprised by this?
I mean, I don't really... I'm neither surprised nor not surprised by anything anymore. But because that was a talking point of a lot of people, was Trump was going to pardon his whole family and all his political allies, and that was subverting democracy, this, that, and the other. Well, the only guy that's done it is Joey.
And Biden did say that you're not going to see me do that.
Correct. He said, you're not going to see me issue any preemptive pardons, which he did to Fauci and Milley and all those other guys, and in addition to seemingly his whole family.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by it. I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised if any politician did it. I don't think you can't be disappointed if it's something that you expected.
Nobody's ever done that, though.
I expect politicians...
That's a pretty crazy precedent to set.
I expect politicians to play fast and loose with their pardons.
But again, nobody's ever done it before.
Who did Trump pardon when he left?
He issued preemptive pardons for Fauci and the Congress people on the January 6th Commission and General Mark Milley. And then he also issued preemptive pardons to like 7 or 8 of his family members. Meaning,
that makes sense though.
I mean, he's the only one that's ever done it. And 4 years ago, they surmised Trump would do it.
He's the only president that has preceded a president that has said he's going to go after.
Okay, so you could make that argument for Fauci and the January 6th people, but his family, Trump has nothing to do with.
I would do that if I was Biden, just in case. Like I don't know what his motive is. Obviously, like maybe there is some nefarious shit that his family's involved in. I don't know that, right? I didn't look at none of the laptop story deep enough. Like I don't know what's all involved and why he would do his family. But I mean, why wouldn't you?
I can see pardoning like your kids. I could see that. Nobody's ever done it before. That's true. But there've been some weird back channel deals that are done with pardons. That's a pretty common thing. It looks really bad when he's like, "You're not going to see me do that," and then he does it. I think he would make the argument that circumstances changed, where he feels like Trump is going to go out of his way to drum up charges against anybody that's close to him as a means of revenge. But honestly, he's got bigger fish to fry. We got Mars.
It's time to go.
I will say this about the inauguration and Donald Trump and stuff. I don't know how many leftists feel the way I do, and I don't know if you feel the same, PFT. But this how it feels. Like I don't really take sides in politics, right? I'm a policy-based voter, and I feel like if it's best for the American people, I'm with it. I don't care who signs the piece of legislation. And so it's like this ain't some like I see a lot of chat online, and like a lot of people like taking victory laps when the president that they vote for won. I saw it on the left. I see it on the right. I don't like none of these fucking politicians, right? There's very rarely do I see a politician with, with like honor. You know what I mean? Like somebody who I would enjoy calling a friend, right? A lot of these motherfuckers are liars. They corrupt. They like scheming people. But if you write a piece of legislation that I agree with, I don't care. It doesn't matter that I feel like helps American people. So it's like, I hope this nigga is the best president that this world has ever seen. I hope that's the case. I don't think that's the case, or else I would have voted for him, right? But I hope he does some of the stuff that he says he's doing. I hope he doesn't do some of the stuff that he's doing. But like, I'm rooting for him to be a good president. Right? I'm not partisan in that way. I don't agree with him, obviously, but like I want him to be a good president, because very rarely in America does legislation negatively affect wealthy people, right? And I am a wealthy person. So it's not me that I ever really vote for in mind. I vote for poor people. Like I was poor, I grew up poor, and so I empathize with poor people because I feel like they actually run the society. So I'm hoping that his policies help and benefit poor people. I just don't think that's the case, but I would love to be wrong on that. So I just want to get that out the way, and I don't know if a lot of leftists feel like that. A lot of people just bang for teams. I don't really bang for teams. I bang for people, dog.
Yeah, I hear you. I agree with that. whatever's best for people, whatever's best for the country. I hope it happens. What's going on with Doge? Is Doge a thing now?
Vivek.
I think so,
Out.
but they kicked
Yo,
Vivek
what happened
out.
to Vivek, bro? What?
He's getting. Well, he went on that weird Twitter rant about the visas, and then has been like kicked out.
Oh yeah, his Twitter rant being like, "Until America embraces the nerd instead of the popular jock."
Yeah, it was over Christmas, and I was gone, so like I didn't even see the whole thing. But it seems like everybody really turned on him quick.
Yeah, the H-1B visa thing, which is it's a visa that gets put into place to bring over people from overseas, primarily in like the tech field to help with software and things like that. And they bring people from India, and they use Indian workers here in the United States, and then they have a lot of control over those people because the people that are over here are dependent on their employer sponsoring their visa, so they get to stay over here in America. And so it's not pro-worker, it's not pro-America, because it outsources a lot of these jobs to people who are not Americans, and it also makes the people who are on the receiving end of the H-1B visa, yes, they get paid money. A lot of times they send it back home, but they're put in a negative position where they are beholden to their employer in a much more, I guess, intertwined way than an employee-employer relationship typically is, because they need to have that job, or else, boom, you're back to India. So, yeah, Elon and Vivek were both kind of taking the side of we need these visas, and then a lot of people started posting pictures of like all the visas that are granted to people. It's not like the top 0.1% of people that are brought in. It's not like the best computer scientists in the world that we import using the H-1B visa. It's like rank and file software coders. So people kind of turned on Elon, kind of turned on Vivek, and now they broke up.
Yeah, so I think he's out. He was at the inauguration today. I was surprised to see him. But now he's going to run for governor of Ohio. I guess he's been kicked out of the federal ranks.
Okay.
So now he's going back to Ohio.
Okay.
What is the maybe you just detailed this and I missed it. But what is the reason that he's kind of like disconnected from the party? And is it specifically?
My understanding of his whole take on the situation was, did he say something about Americans like being lazy?
Yeah,
and that we need more of those visa recipients.
Yeah, he had a big long rant about how American culture and how Americans are just like they're not capable of doing a lot of these jobs, and then all the people were like, "Whatever happened to America first?"
And then there was something about Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, he was.
Did Elon agree with this?
Yes, Elon was on his side as well.
Yo, this is hilarious, dog. So, let me just recap and get this straight. Vivek says that Americans are too stupid and that they need immigrants for some of these jobs. Elon doubles down, and the MAGA base says, "Well, hold on a second. Did I get that correct?"
That's my understanding of the situation.
Yeah, it's a pretty good wrap up, I'd say.
But Elon is still in, but Vivek is out.
Seems that way, yeah.
That's pretty funny, man. That's pretty funny.
Elon looked fucked up at the inauguration. Did you see him?
I saw that, yeah.
I just saw the clip of him after Trump said we're going to Mars, and he was like...
There was one clip that I saw where his eyes were just all over the...
Like rolling around.
Yeah, like tripping balls.
There's been rumors, legend, that he is super on ketamine, right?
I was just going to say, isn't he like a big ket guy?
Yes.
That is the rumors.
I don't know if they're rumors.
I don't know either, but he don't look like a sober cat. But maybe he is. Maybe he's just quirky, you know?
What does your body, like, what, is that a ketamine? I don't know what your body does on ketamine.
Ketamine's amazing.
It kind of puts you in, if you take a high enough dose, like a tranquilized state.
Well, I mean, isn't it a tranquilizer?
Yes.
Yeah. So does it like numb you out?
Yeah. And so he's been, I think it's more than rumors. I think that he's had coworkers and people that are on boards with him saying that he needs to chill out with the ketamine. He looked like he was, but I mean, if you're going to inauguration, like it's basically Woodstock. Load up on the psychedelics.
I was in a K-hole at the inauguration. This is my story.
Yeah, he looked fucked up. So, I mean, I think a lot of people are going to be following this administration strictly for the content that's going to come out of it.
Did you see the person on Twitter that made a spreadsheet and they're tracking week over week through the whole entire administration, like price of eggs, the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, and gonna like be like, eggs better be 15 cents by the time this guy's out of office.
How's the market doing? What is the market telling us about this?
All right, where's our coin at? Or I mean, our not a coin, our
Robinhood?
our investments. Yeah,
let's check in on
Have we
this.
checked in?
Yeah, let's see how Trump is doing with our money. Here we go. Also, did you see the tweet I just sent you that Jack Schlossberg tweeted?
Yep.
That Usha Vance is hotter than his own grandmother, Jackie O.
Yeah, that's wait, that's Jackie O's grandson?
Yeah, it's RFK's son.
Oh, no.
He's a weirdo.
Oh,
Or not
no.
RFK. JFK Jr.'s son, I think.
Oh no, that's you can't.
Yeah, it's a Kennedy saying that.
You can't say that about your grandmother.
Yeah.
You can't either way. You can't say that your grandmother's hot, and you also can't be like, this woman's more attractive than my grandmother. It's weird either way.
It's
Arian,
bad.
I'm curious your thoughts on Usha Vance. She's not quite into the age range that you're looking for, but
I got a. How do you spell
I
her
think
name?
she's pretty. USHA. Also, Jack Schlossberg's parents are Caroline Kennedy and Edwin Schlossberg.
Got it.
So Caroline Kennedy is his mother. But yeah, he said that Usha Vance is in fact hotter than Jackie O, his grandmother. Also, we are up $37.
Let's go.
Okay.
I'll play.
Looking good.
Today we
Usha
are
Vance,
up $2.
Very attractive woman. What I like about her most in all these pictures that I see, no makeup on, or very little makeup.
I was gonna say there's not a chance that she doesn't have makeup on.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at these pictures. Very little. Like it's not a part
It's
of.
not
her aesthetic
overpowering.
where-
That's what you think.
Yeah, that's what you think.
That's what
I
all
mean,
men
I mean, show me a picture where you show me a picture of her where you're like, yo, this is obviously she's caked up right here.
I'm not saying that she's caked up, but like, Mackenzie, correct me if I'm wrong.
What does caked up mean?
Like, caked, or
Like
she has makeup
foundation.
caked on.
Okay, all right. I was thinking of
Sorry.
Usually
Sorry,
it's
I
thin.
meant caked on, not
Okay.
caked up. I don't know if she's caked up. I haven't looked. But men love to be like, she's not wearing any makeup, and she is in fact wearing.
No,
not her,
yeah.
but like
It's-
women
it's-
are wearing makeup.
Sure, she's wearing makeup, but it's not.
No, she's definitely like very pretty and like.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
are having goat conversations. Hottest second lady of all time.
It's not to the point where it's a part of her aesthetics where it's like I wouldn't recognize her if she didn't have zero makeup on. It'd be like,
Yeah,
okay.
true.
And
That's-
to me, that's attractive to me. I love no makeup, but it's not to say makeup is bad. I know women get like, who are you to tell me? But hey, do what you do. I'm just telling you what I like very little to no makeup. I don't think women need it. Honestly, I don't like it. I think women are more beautiful naturally. That's just me. Do you?
Thank you, Arian.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
So-
very pretty.
All in all, would.
In
She's-
conclusion,
Yeah, she's only 39.
Really?
Actually, her just turned 39.
Now, my
So
that's my peer, actually. She 1 year older than me.
Yeah.
yeah,
Who would be the most attractive second ladies of all time?
I don't know.
We got was it Lynn Cheney?
I'm not familiar with her game.
We've got I'm just naming names. We've
Lynn.
got Mother,
Oh, you
Mike
going to
Pence's
that?
wife.
Lynn Cheney.
yeah.
We've
Not
got
it.
Doug Emhoff.
Doug
Yes.
Imhoff.
Lynn Cheney's a nah.
Gonna put
for
him
me,
last.
We've got
Let's look.
Jill Biden. Jill.
I
don't
think
remember
Jill's
what
very
she-
pretty.
Yeah, she's pretty. She's very pretty.
I'd actually be curious Arian's thoughts on her.
Tipper
though.
Gore.
Jill.
Jill Biden.
Jill.
She's a pretty old white woman for sure. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Accurate.
I'd have to feel, I'd have to be a little litty, but yeah.
How many
she's-
beers, Dr. Jill Biden?
But
She's 73.
it's Jill.
She's
It's
older.
Jill Biden. So it's like that bumps
For
up
the
there.
story.
Your status absolutely matters in these You know what I'm saying? Like if Joe Biden was coming, was like, "Hey, I seen you on Macrodosing," and I was like, "Hey, that door might have to be open. It is what it is."
She knows you from Macrodosing.
Yeah, Jill
Yeah.
Biden knows you from macro.
Hey, you never know. You know what I'm saying? Content travels, dog.
Do you think Trump's thought about doing a podcast while he's in office?
Yes.
100%.
That shit,
1,000 million.
He's
that shit would do
absolutely
numbers.
going to. You know what I do hope he does that he said he's gonna do? Release all these files that he said he's gonna release. The JFK files.
That's what he says.
The alien
Epstein.
file, the MLK file. And this may be one of the last MLK days that we can celebrate where he's unilaterally loved. Because I'm telling y'all, I think I said this about 2 years ago when we did the MLK episode. When they release his files, folks on your side of the aisle, Big T, they're gonna have a field day.
Oh
with that
no,
shit.
I know some of the stuff.
They're starting now though. They're already starting. Charlie Kirk is already starting to plant those seeds.
But
I said-
they'll never. You can't ever like
I promise you, bro. It's
stop
coming.
doing MLK.
What? They're gonna there will be legislation written from your side of the aisle that says he is not worthy to have a day. Look at his resume. I promise you, mark my words, brother. It's
Maybe,
coming.
but I'm
I'll take that if
dubious
you want to take a
that
bet.
That it happens or that someone proposes it.
That I don't know if it's gonna happen. There'll be a lot of backlash from.
There might be some person out there that like says we need to whatever, but that'll never happen.
I don't know that will happen either, but it's gonna be push from that side of the aisle when those files are released, because there's gonna be recordings. It's gonna be.
But I think people already know most of that stuff.
I would say
No,
the
but
majority of the public does not.
I also think there's a lot of stuff that's not released about him.
I'm
Yep.
sure
And
there is.
they had wiretaps on him, so every conversation you can find, like there'll be stuff that comes to light.
Yep. And what they didn't find was anything on Malcolm X. They said he was a saint.
Really?
Yeah, they wiretapped him too, and they had in the FBI files they said compared to Martin Luther King, they said he was a saint. He don't have nothing on him.
I mean, they have like Disney-fied. We talked about this with MLK. They Disney-fied his whole thing.
I mean, like I said, I don't think he was. He's not the person that especially white folks and Republicans love to remember. He was an anti-capitalist.
Yeah.
He was. There was a whole bunch of like modern day American takes that he would absolutely not side with. But they just remember him from that one line in that one speech. But he was.
It was a great
vehemently-
speech.
Yeah, it was a great speech.
Great speech.
Great speech. I want to move to this because I think you'll enjoy this. I don't know if we've talked about this, but I think I don't know about enjoy this, but it's a tidbit that's interesting. It's about Jimmy Carter.
Okay.
Jimmy Carter is second cousins with Berry Gordy. Did you notice?
No.
All right. I had no idea this is real, dog. So people that don't know, Berry Gordy was the founder of Motown. So responsible for some of the best music ever created from the 60s into the 70s, like, the Temptations and some of the greatest music of all time. Jimmy Carter and Berry Gordy's great-grandfather was James Thomas Gordy. He was born in 1828 in Baldwin County, Georgia, and in 1864 enlisted into the Confederate Army, serving as a wagon master. Yada, yada, yada. He died in 1889 in Chattahoochee, Georgia, at age 60. In between, he married Harriet Helms on October 1854 and had 8 children. Jimmy Carter's grandfather, James Jackson Gordy, was child number 4. 2 months before James Gordy was married, a woman he enslaved named Esther Johnson, so he had slaves, gave birth to his first child, Berry Gordy. There's countless documents on the Gordy family and the Gordy Helms family, but not a lot about Esther. And so his family tree denotes that he had an enslaved woman named Esther who he had a child with, and that would make him, and when you follow that lineage, Berry Gordy and Jimmy Carter are second cousins.
That is wild.
Crazy. Jimmy Carter saga continues to grow.
I love those shows too, where they tell people that they're distant cousins. Like when they told who was it? It was Larry David and Bernie Sanders are actually related.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. I didn't know that either.
Yeah. And then sometimes there'll be like a black guy and a white guy that they're like, yeah, you're actually distant cousins. And then they're like, oh, that's cool. Wait.
Not that cool.
No, it's not. No.
that cool.
They start thinking about maybe why they're related. And then it's like, oh, fuck. That sucks. Well, yeah, that is cool. The legend Jimmy Carter grows.
Yeah, man.
I wonder what Jimmy would say today if he were still with us.
Not much.
Probably why? Why am I alive right now? All right, we want to do any voicemails?
Hey, do it.
And then on Thursday's show, we're doing the Deep Web.
I'm excited about that one.
Deep Web, we got a great interview coming up too.
I have a story about the Deep Web that almost got me in some shit.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's a nothing burger, but it was like I had no idea what it was.
No. You should have stuck with the good teas.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's a great story.
The juiciest thing that's ever happened to me in my life.
This is originally from Binghamton, New York, but now living in Florida. My question for you guys is, when you moved from different states or like traveled internationally, what was your biggest culture shock? For me, I would say moving to Florida, like I said, being from New York, no one is from Florida. Like everyone I ask is like, oh, I'm from Ohio, Pennsylvania, wherever. Like no one is really homegrown and raised in Florida. So I'm just wondering what you guys think about that, like what your biggest culture shock is. I love the show. Been a listener since day one, listen to every episode. So thank you guys for what you do. Really big fan. All right, thank you.
Biggest culture shock moving around.
I have one easy. When I grew up in Albuquerque, New Mexico, which is fairly West Coast-ish, Southwest, and then I moved to San Diego for high school, is the West Coast, and then I went to Tennessee for college. When I went to Tennessee, I had never seen the whole you call people ma'am or sir as a form of like respect or disrespect. So as a younger cat, how you answer people, right? If somebody is like they talk to you and you're like, huh? A lot of the times older cats view that as disrespectful. Like you have to say sir or ma'am. And I was like, get the fuck out. Like, why? That was just not a thing out there where I grew up with. Like my mother and father never said, call me sir, call me. Like that shit was just never a thing. The cats I grew up with in the neighborhoods we was in, it was never, you don't have to ma'am or sir anybody. And so when I went out there, they were like really like, they thought I was disrespectful. And I was like, I just don't understand it. And it wasn't natural to me. And to this day, it ain't natural to me. It was just a very big culture shock that I think actually hindered a lot of my relationships originally. Also, the religiosity of the South was fucking wild to me. Like one of my good buddies to this day, the first time I met him, when you sign to a class in college football, it's like everybody from different walks of life. This is pre-internet days, and everybody from different walks of life, and so you don't really know. This is the first I've never met anybody from Tennessee, Florida, Georgia, like all these different states, and I'm coming from California. And we just start talking, where you grew up, where you live, blah, blah, blah. And I grew up Muslim. And I was an atheist then. I still believed in a higher power, but I was like straying away from Islam. And I was the first cat that he met that wasn't Christian. And he was like in shock. And he was like, what? He's like, you don't believe in Jesus? I was like, well, we believe Jesus existed, but we don't believe he's divine or whatever. And he go, damn. He said, you're going to hell, right? And he was like, dead serious. That was one of the first conversations we had. And I was like, God damn, nigga, you just gonna condemn me? You just met me? And that was a super big culture shock too. I had to learn that everybody was Christian. And it was that was a huge culture shock to me.
Yeah, that's wild that the first thing he says to you is like, you're gonna burn in significant pain for eternity.
That was like one of the first things he uttered to me. I was like, God damn, bro, I don't even know you.
Did you never even say sir to like coaches?
No, it was not like in high school, like our coaches, we just talked to them like regular folks. Like we talked to you like you were our peers, because a lot of them were, right? So like our DB coach used to cut our hair, right? My dad later on he was a receiver coach, and he from Carson, California, right next to Compton. Like my dad's from it. You know what I'm saying? So, and I never talked to my dad. Said, "Sir," he was always like, "Hey, little nigga." Like that's how my dad. That's how we grew up. I grew up with that relationship with them, and in that environment, that's how we grew up. And so, first time I remember vividly, dog. One of the coaches was like, "You say sir to me," and I was like, I took it as disrespect. I'm like, "Who the fuck do you? Why would I call you? That's like some slave shit." That's my first thing I read was like, "Oh, you trying to sun me on some like you don't own me? Call you sir?" It was a differences in cultures. So like that was disrespectful to me, and I was disrespectful to them, and I could see why they thought I was an asshole. But
did you ever rectify that? Like, what did you do?
nah, so in that specific instance, it was I don't want to say the name. I don't get all these Tennessee fans on my bumper, but he was like, "I'm going to the head coach, and it's either you or me, but one of us is out of here." And I was like, and I didn't know what happened because he had just said he said Arian, and I didn't hear what he said. I said, "Huh?" And he goes, "That's it. That's the last. I'm sick of your disrespect." And I was like, "What the fuck is you on?" And then one of his positions came up to me like, "Bro, what happened? What did you do?" I was like, he asked me a question. I said, "Huh?" He goes, "You said, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, you can't do that." I'm like, "What the fuck?" I was just so lost, and I was like, "Yeah, that's disrespectful." I'm like, "How is that disrespectful?" I was so lost, and our relationship never rectified after that. He just thought so we just didn't talk. So he thought I was like this disrespectful ass kid, and I thought he was a dumbass. So it was just never rectified. But again, in order for that to happen, and which is not a football culture, and I'm ranting a little bit, but it's not in football culture for coaches to drop their ego to like level with a kid. It was rare in my opinion for a coach to be like, "Listen, son, like down here, this is how it's done. You know, this is viewed as disrespect." Like nobody would ever level with you and say, "Hey, I know this is where you're from, it's what you're used to." But even if you're not, like if you do this, is that like no? It was always like you either do this or you get the fuck out. It's very militaristic, and a lot of the cats I grew up with were the same way. You buck on them, they buck back. But that's, I don't know. It's different.
Yeah, it is wild. I would say that mine would be probably when I moved to New York. One, having just pipes everywhere that make the loudest noises ever.
Yeah.
That was a shock. My first night in New York, I'm falling asleep, and then it sounds like somebody's banging against my kitchen sink with a frying pan. And it's so loud. I'm like, what the hell is this? Oh, that's just the sound the pipes make. Everybody has that all the time here.
Radiator.
Yeah, the radiator combined with no garbage disposals in Manhattan. You're not allowed to have one.
I guess I never even put that together.
It's against the law.
What do y'all do with trash? Like,
I get it. I understand because there's so many people that live in that building where they all share pipes where if one person like pours bacon grease down the drain, it can clog up the plumbing for the entire building. And now you've got hundreds of people that can't get their water. So I get that. So you take it out and you throw your food into the trash and you clean it up as best as you can. And then you
have compost?
Some people compost, but that takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
In New York. So there's that. But for me, I think the biggest culture shock about New York was just realizing that people, just because they sound like they're being assholes, doesn't mean that they're being assholes. So people will sound like they're dickheads in New York while they're doing something very nice for you. And you have to be able to separate those things.
Give me an example.
Okay, so the example I always give is like my second week there. I was out on I was in one of the parks. I was on some path by the water, and I went up to a hot dog cart. And I went up to the guy at the cart. I wanted to buy a hot dog and a soda and maybe a bag of chips. And I had like a $5 bill in my pocket, but I just assumed that he was going to take a card. He did not take a card. And there was like a line of 3 people behind me. All I had was $5 in my pocket. And then he walks up to me and he just gives me like $4. He's like, "Here you go. Let's keep the line moving." And I was like, okay. But he was like kind of a jerk about like how he was saying it. And I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty rude sounding. And I was like, but wait, he just did a really, really nice thing for me. And then I was leaving. I was like, thank you. And he just didn't like acknowledge my thank you. He like shook his head. He's like, "Hey, tell you what, just pay it forward. Do it for somebody else." And I was like, okay, yeah. So that's a nice guy who sounded like he was an asshole while he was being a nice guy.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of that in New York where like push comes to shove, people will be very friendly. They will help you do things in New York. and they'll look out for you, but they're not going to do the night. They don't have time to be polite.
I agree with you.
They don't have time to sound polite, to worry about how their words are coming across in your brain and how they're making you feel. It's like, I'm going to help you, but I'm going to be a dick.
The tracks. Yeah. New York is like that.
Yeah. So once you realize that you can separate those two things, then you can really appreciate New Yorkers for what they are, which I think is usually very good people.
Love it.
Also, just traveling, I was shocked when I went to South America the first time, and they wouldn't let you flush toilet paper. So they have little trash cans in the stalls that you wipe your ass with, and then you put your toilet paper into a tiny little trash can, like the smallest trash can ever. Usually doesn't even have a lid on it.
Oh.
Yeah, that was shocking to me. Wasn't a fan of that. Again, it's plumbing
Oh.
reasons.
Oh, that reminds me of the other culture shock. Japan. A totally different world, dog, in the best ways possible. Just super, I think I've said before on this podcast, but super nice people, overly friendly. And it could be they do it because that's the culture and they might not necessarily be it's in their hearts, but still, just the culture is just the kindest shit in the world. Like, I remember walking downtown Kyoto, not a piece of trash on the street, and you will never find a trash can. Like, there's no trash cans on the corner, right? But there's no trash on the street. It's just the culture there is like, if you take care of your own trash and you don't put it upon society.
Mm-hmm.
The nicest, like, they will go out of their way to help you out. It's insane. It was a total culture shock.
What about you guys?
I mean, obviously, the living situation in New York is irreplicable. Like, you can't, I guess maybe in San Francisco and places like that, there's some apartments like that, but it's nothing like you're living in a building that was built in 1900 with a staircase the width of a graham cracker that goes up, and your apartment is smaller than this room.
Mm-hmm.
But then I've said my other one about the Northeast, which is just that everyone is like, oh, I'm Italian, I'm Polish, I'm this, that, and the other. And I'm like, you're from America, your parents are from America, your grandparents are from America. It's just like that's a very weird thing to me still.
Yeah, because especially in New York, it was so sectionalized and divided when people would move here. It's like, this is an Italian neighborhood.
Right.
This is an Irish neighborhood.
And people, and they're very, like, they care about it deeply.
Yeah.
So that's really odd to me. But
It's like the most important thing about them.
Yeah.
Italian. Yeah, you're right. Like, if you go out, the more rural you get, it's just, oh yeah, this is like historically kind of a German community, but like we don't go around waving German flags all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I'd never even heard of anything like that growing up.
Yeah. What about you guys, Mad Dog McKenzie?
I think moving to New York, I had never, from like Ohio, I'd never understood East Coast money and like what that translated to. Like, obviously there are rich people in Cleveland and like, you know, whatever. But I think moving to New York for the first time, I like understood what actual like 1% real money. Mm-hmm. And like I had never seen anything like that in Ohio. Like, so like seeing just like super, super, super mega rich kids that like totally live off their parents and like just the apartments, like that whole kind of like culture of just the mega elite, you know, East Coast vibe. And then, yeah, I mean, like Big T said, like the living situation was a shock. But I honestly think like when you live there, and that's like the first city I lived after graduation, you kind of grow numb to it because you're just like, everyone lives like this. And then you like go visit your friend in Columbus, Ohio, and she has like a 1,500 square foot apartment for $1,200. And you're like, wait.
No, it was never lost on me how abnormal and terrible it was.
I think I just like was like, okay, well, I guess this is how much this gets you. And then I would like go visit my friends in other cities, and I would be like, oh my God, like that's crazy. But yeah, and then like, I don't know. I think just like the New York of it all is like crazy to jump into. And then moving here was not a culture shock at all. These are my people.
Yeah, the only culture shock here is how 6 people make a left turn on red after it turns red.
But like that's like that doesn't that I've seen that before.
I did say after living in New York for a little while, it became easy for me to see how people who have lived there for 30 years forget completely what America's actually like, because it's nothing like New York.
Yeah.
And it's just a totally different way that you live and do everything. So these people that are on cable news that have lived in New York City, like, 20, 25, 30 years, it's easy for me to see how disconnected they become.
Yeah.
Because you're just not living like 99% of the people in the country.
Yeah, it is true. And they do think that New York is the center of the universe.
Yeah.
And that's if it's not happening in New York, it doesn't exist.
Right.
They also, people that are from New York expect everybody to know every small detail about like New York geography and history.
Yeah. Like, oh, you don't know what Nolita is? Like, how do you not know Nolita? Or like these tiny little neighborhoods?
I don't know what that is.
They also expect you to know the complete geography of New Jersey when you live in New York.
Yeah, I still don't
You have to
that.
know like what the different towns are in New Jersey and whether that's Central Jersey, South Jersey, North Jersey. People are going to be pissed that I said Central Jersey too.
Yeah.
So like that doesn't exist.
A brave stance to take.
Yeah. Wait, did you just say pork roll? Did you say pork roll or you say Taylor ham? Get pissed off about that too. Okay. All right. Good question.
And there's one more.
Hey, what up, Macrodosians and the cast? This is Easy Color calling in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I just wanted to ask my big guy, Big T, what's the most fun he's ever had? Number one fun moment, and it can't be a Tennessee game. That also goes for Arian Foster. What's the most fun you've ever had? Mad Dog, McKenzie, EFT, feel free to chime in. Love you guys. Keep on ripping. Have a good one.
Okay. Good
That's
question.
an interesting question. The most fun I've ever had, I guess we'll just say not sports, because he only said not UT. He didn't specify.
Mm-hmm.
PFT went out with me in a group after the Braves won the World Series. That wasn't the most fun I've ever had, but it was fun.
We had a good time.
Well, like, it was on a Tuesday, I think, and half the bars in New York were closed. That's the other thing about New York. They say the city that never sleeps. That's horseshit. You go out at midnight in New York, and if you're in, like, a neighborhood, not, in Times Square or whatever, there's nobody out. Like, it's,
You have to know a spot.
people are sleeping.
Yeah.
The most fun I've ever had. Arian, you go first.
Did he said not sports related? I couldn't hear him.
Yeah.
He said not UT related for Big T, but
most
I assume
fun
we'll just do
I've
not
had.
sports.
yeah, let's just not do sports.
Insert Jeopardy theme.
So the question is the most fun you've ever had, not sports related.
So this isn't the most fun I've ever had, but I, over Christmas, went to a pretty nice resort in Mexico. And I walked in and there was like the most beautiful Christmas tree you've ever seen in your life. It was like 30 feet tall. And the smell in the room was so incredible. And they handed me a glass of champagne as I was checking in. And I was like, this is the greatest moment of my life. This is the best place I've ever been. I don't know how much fun that was, but it was awesome. I bought that. They sell that scent in a spray that you can spray in your house. So I bought that. And now my apartment smells like that resort.
Like
all
the resort?
time.
That's a
Yeah.
good job by the resort.
Yeah. So now I've got, and I will never not have that. I'll have it forever.
Yeah, that's great.
The most fun I've ever had.
I mean, that's a hard question.
Yeah, I mean
It's
it's
very difficult because you could say vacations. Like I can think
Right.
of vacations I've been on. Like I would say the Galapagos might have been the most fun. Barcelona was maybe some of the most fun. In the United States, you know what? I love a good beach, but
In the United States?
Yeah. Oh, the Outer Banks of North Carolina.
I was gonna say that too.
I lived there
Really?
for a summer, and
Oh, that's cool.
that might have been the most fun era because I had just turned 21, and I worked at a restaurant. I would clock in at like noon. I would leave at 8 p.m., 10 p.m. every night. Then I'd go home, get shit hammered on the beach. Then I'd wake up the next day, go to the beach until like noon or 1, go to work, get a couple days off during the week. But it was the best. No responsibilities. All the money that I made went directly towards either paying my rent or buying cases of beer. And that was pretty much it. That's all I did for a full summer, and it was awesome.
What town were you in?
I was in Kill Devil Hills.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
What a name for a town.
Worked at Dirty Dick's Crab Shack.
Yeah, I've been to one.
It's
on
mentioned in
Outer
an
Banks.
outstanding Scotty McCreery song.
Is it really? What do they say?
Carolina to me.
I love Scotty.
I've already walked with Jesus going through Kill Devil Hills, and I've talked to God face to face sitting high up in Linville.
Yeah. The T-shirts at Dirty Dick's. I think they opened the restaurant just to sell T-shirts because it was always, I got my crabs from Dirty Dick's.
I don't know that I've had a best time. So like, the funnest time. I think how I would like categorize fun would be like the amount of peace I feel, I guess. Because like, what does fun mean? You know what I mean? It's a very loose and vague term, I guess. I guess for me, just like it would be like a state, like, and I think this last, I don't know, latter half of my life, I've had the most fun because I've been at the most peace. Hectic as hell growing up. College life was hectic. And through the NFL, it's just very an emotionally turbulent time for me. And then the peace I felt as the years went after I retired was probably the most fun for me, and being able to have the autonomy and the freedom that I have. I think that would be what I would categorize as fun. So it's not like one specific event, but like a junction of time that I most feel at peace.
Mm-hmm.
If we can do,
Good question.
It's honestly a difficult question to answer,
hard.
to try to pinpoint, like, but in the same vein as Arian, once you become an adult with like a little bit of money, your life is fun.
Yeah.
Like when I was living in New York, I was pretty dirt poor. But now like you get a little bit of money in like your late 20s and you can do whatever you want. That's fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like stages of life, I think is a different conversation than like the most fun you've ever had.
Most fun I've ever had was the first time I met Bucky the Beaver. That's the most fun I've ever had. That's probably the happiest single moment I've ever had.
It sounds magical.
Yeah.
It sounds incredible.
Saw him again yesterday.
How?
Where?
I was in Nashville this weekend, and yesterday my parents and I were just kind of sitting around looking at each other, and we had nothing to do. And my dad was like, "You want to go to Bucky's?" Which is like an hour away. And I was like, "Yeah, let's just go." So we went to Bucky's, and then we stopped at Kentucky's largest flea market on the way back.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
And I did a little mantiquing.
What'd you get?
A Hank Aaron ornament, a Rob Dibble Nashville Sounds bobblehead, a few other things. I got these Shaq 1993 Pepsi bottles.
Okay.
I don't know if there was apparently a Shaq set of these Pepsi bottles. They're sick.
Don't remember.
Few Mark McGuire A's and Cardinals like duo starting lineup. Some different. I got Brandon a couple things. It was a solid mantiquing trip.
That's great.
Yeah.
Nice work. We got another voicemail?
That's
We
it.
just had 2 today? Okay, what's the voicemail? More callers for next week?
347-560-0401.
Okay, give us a ring. Let us know what you're thinking about on the macrodosing line. We're going to do the deep web on Thursday with a special guest. I'm very excited to have that conversation. Anything else we want to get to today? Because today's show, Arian, I noticed, were you drinking coffee today?
I did drink a little bit of coffee today.
We got to get you some more Stella Blue.
Fuck with me.
Stella Blue, let's send it over to Arian. It's the best coffee in the world. They're a sponsor of Macrodosing. We believe that life is too short for bad coffee. This year, we're asking you to stop settling for boring big coffee beans. Make the switch to Stella Blue. Stella Blue is premium coffee. The beans are hand-selected, Big Cat approved, crafted to fit your coffee routine, whether that's ground, whole bean, K-Cups, or cold brew, and every sip helps save homeless dogs. Here's the best part. Sign up for a Stella Blue coffee subscription before January 31st and get 20% off your first 4 orders, free shipping, and you get a chance to win one of 10 Ninja Dual Brew Pro Coffee systems. Subscribe today, StellaBlueCoffee.com. Save dogs and dollars all year long, StellaBlueCoffee.com. And we will see you guys on Thursday. And what's that number again, Mad Dog?
347-560-0401.
And we will talk to you after Thursday, next Tuesday. Hopefully, it might be Soupy Week. Love you guys.
Like a soupy week.
Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.